So here we are at the Mount Goliath Fee area. You can see the sign that says Fee area. You can see the visitor center and the parking area. So right now I could park. Now there isn't a good parking on this end. There is another one farther on. I could park right here off the road, walk into the visitor center, and take in the interpretive exhibits, walk the nature trail. It's also a trailhead for the Mount Goliath Trail that goes up farther. So this is the self-service pay station, and this is one of the real secrets to these whole fee program. The Forest Service doesn't need the entrance station at the bottom of the road. Since the only thing you have to pay for is parking in this parking lot, it would be very easy and very cost effective for the Forest Service to only charge here. So people who stop here, park here, can come over here, use the self-service pay station. They wouldn't have the personnel costs of the people at the entrance station. They could do it all much more efficiently, but they wouldn't convince as many people to stop. They wouldn't convince as many people to pay. They wouldn't get people to pay who don't need to pay. So now I am leaving the Mount Goliath Fee area. And where I am on the road right now, I would have to pay. But the minute I go to the other side of that sign, where there is plenty of room to park off the side of the road, I would not have to pay. I could walk just maybe 100 yards back to the visitor center and enjoy the visitor center or hike the nature trail, whatever I want to do. The other thing is that as I come up here just a tiny bit more, there's a very large pullout off and down and to my left. So a storm has just broken and it's really, really beautiful up here. And I'd just like to point out that if I hadn't known, I wouldn't get to enjoy this, even though I'm on the state highway and public land. I wouldn't get to see this if I didn't know what the Forest Service was doing. So now I'm at the upper Mount Goliath trailhead, and there's also a nice overlook here. But you can see that there's a trail that comes right down and comes down to the visitor center. So again, if you parked just above the visitor center, you'd be able to hike this trail, and from this point, if you walk, it's all downhill all the way and very, very nice hike. I should also point out that the view is very, very nice. Pretty common thing, we're kind of in the clouds, but you can probably see the bighorn sheep. So now we're coming to Summit Lake, which is city and county of Denver. Apparently the Forest Service and the city and county of Denver have a memorandum of understanding concerning the collection of the fees. They've had one in the past. They did away with it a few years ago, but it may well be back. I have not checked. So while the Forest Service is not allowed by law or is prohibited by law from charging an entrance fee, the city and county of Denver can charge whatever type of fee they choose. So they can charge an entrance fee for entrance to this park. So now we're up near the summit. We're one switchback below the summit, and you can see the entering summit of Mount Evans fee area sign. However, again, this is very misleading. That's not actually where the edge of the fee area is. The fee area is actually halfway up the switchback. So as I turn 180 degrees on the switchback, when I turn 90 degrees, I'll be passing or I'll be crossing into the Mount Evans fee area. So now we're looking at the last switchback, and straight down the middle of the frame is the Mount Evans fee area boundary. So to the left is outside of the boundary, and to the right is within the boundary. So now we're looking a little more closely. This is off the end of the very last switchback. And over here is a rock. And over here are some more rocks. And those actually are the boundary of the Mount Evans Fee area. So if you pull through the opening here in between the rocks and park, then you don't have to pay the fee. So it's very important to know there is parking up here where you don't have to pay the fee. So now I'm up at the summit. I'm simply driving through the parking area. It's only about 200 yards. It's really not a long hike. Agreed, it would be more convenient to park up here at the summit, but, you know, is it worth $15 to park up here at the summit? The other issue that isn't really discussed very much is on busy summer weekends, this area can be full, and you wind up parking outside of the fee area, but yet you've still paid. We have another self-service pay station. Forest Service could use this very easily, very conveniently, to only charge the people who are actually parking within the fee area, but they choose not to, and I think the reason for that is obvious. So again, just off the end of the last switchback is a wonderful little parking area. You just have to pull through the little opening in the rocks, and free parking is all yours. That's the end of the video, and I hope it's been informative. Thanks.